What's up, streamers? So, I haven't done a video in about a week or so, but I've had a lot of different conversations with a lot of different types of people. Um, and one of the topics that keep coming up is religion. Now, I've talked to some practicing people and some non-practicing. I've talked to Christians, Muslims, and then a lot of atheists or people that were raised religious and no longer religious. So the topic of the conversation today are the people that are no longer religious or atheist, because I found their conversations very interesting. And in no way is this a conversion video, because I have similar beliefs to some of them. We just have differences on how we look at things. So I kind of wanted to break that down a little bit. So with these people that don't practice religion or they're atheists, I found it astounding, and not only through talking to them, I went and even looked it up through a Pew Research poll, that the majority of like atheists and non-religious people or just regular spiritual people, they tend to vote left by a high percentage. They're like the highest percentage of the left leaning. So technically, in my way of looking at it, the government becomes God. They've replaced God with government, and to me that's very dangerous. You're basically taking heroin, to the methadone clinic. Neither one is a good thing if that's what you're upset with. So through talking to these people, I asked them, I was like, what's your complaints with religion? Like, what is it that you dislike, that you don't vibe with? And the complaints that I found was kind of astounding. Like, so basically, all the people that I spoke with said that the church was corrupt. That they take in tithings, the money, and where does it go? It doesn't go to the benefits that they say it's going to. That their pastor or priest or whoever is walking around in high dollar suits and fancy cars and things like that. However, the majority of the churches aren't that nice, and they're not doing what they say they're going to do with the money. It's more so just a scam. It's a scheme, and they said, everything's corrupt. The whole church is corrupt, and that people were pushy and righteous, and holier than thou, and they look down at people that weren't churchgoers, and like they were second class citizens, and they talked about the holy wars, and so basically I had a comeback. I was like, well, you're voting government, so let me give you an instance where it's the same thing. So when you say church, what you mean is the IRS, because they forcefully take our money, they call it taxes, and they spend it for whatever the hell they deem is important at the time. Whether it's Medicaid, whether it's abortion for, Planned Parenthood, whether it's the welfare state, many different areas in the government. And plus, you're paying all their salaries, just like you're paying the priest's salary. So, yes, Bernie Sanders has 3 houses, a couple sports cars, and some nice suits. So does every other politician. So you can't really talk about that. Like, that's... We're on even playing ground there. So, you just want to talk about just being corrupt. Well, I can just stop at Clinton's, for the ones that just said, well, they're corrupt. The pushy and righteousness, well, I think of the crazy liberals, the Antifas, that let's punch Nazis in the face. Let's call everybody bigots and racist. Let's just deem anybody lower than someone who doesn't move with your social political movement. If you're not for trans, you're a hater. If you're not for this, you're a hater. Like, it's the same thing. You talk about holy wars. Yes, ISIS is killing people. Yes, there was the Muslim hordes back in the day, the Christian crusades. Are we still not having wars? Did the Clintons not topple governments? Libya? What was that for? We paid for that too, by the way. They did bring up science. Well, science can prove more things than religion can. was like, actually, science is a bunch of theories, and it can only prove a few things. Yes, we know what parts of the body are where and for what reasons, for the most part. We have no idea what the what's the part of the body. It gets taken out sometimes. It can kill you if it ruptures. Appendix. Your appendix. If your appendix bursts, it'll kill you, but nobody knows a reason for why that's there. However, in religion, yes, there's some theories and this and that. You can't prove all of it. Some of the stories sound even mythical, I guess you could say. But however, we do know that there was a city of Ur. You do know that there was a lot of these archaeological places. You can prove that people existed. You can prove some of this stuff, just like you can prove vaguely there's some science. So they're about hand in hand as well. So basically, what I come to after talking to these people, and I give them some fire backs, when they shoot some their thought process at me, and it was a little bit more in depth at the time. That the problem wasn't with the religion, the text, the message, or anything like that. It was with the people and the abuse, the corruption. And I would agree that the church, the Vatican, or different places, there's corruption involved. Just like there's corruption involved in our government, in every government. And if you don't believe that there is, I think you should take a closer look, because there definitely is. There's a lot of pay-to-play type of things going on. And I think it goes on with the church, and I think it goes on with the government. So they're on even playing fields. However, I think the moral compass that the religion text, and it doesn't matter which one you look at. Now, we can disagree that, okay, I don't like Sharia law. I'm not a Muslim. However, they've still followed the Ten Commandments. At least from how I talked to two different Muslim guys, and the Ten Commandments reigns true to them. I talked to a Jewish guy, Ten Commandments reign true to them, and I talked to many Christians, or used to be Christians. The moral compass is tried and true. That's where we need to be focused on. The morals, the values, how we treat one another, the golden rule. I had a couple of them actually say, the hell with religion, the hell with government, I don't need a religion or a government to make me a good person. I know what I'm doing. It's like, well, that's great. Spread that on to others. How to be a good person. Do unto others as you would want them to do unto you. They kept saying that. And it's like, yeah, that'd be blissful if everybody just went around like that. However, that's not the case, because as you can see through whether it's religion or government, man corrupts. Absolute corrupts. Absolute power is corruption, and vice versa. So it doesn't matter if you want to vote for more government, you're going to get the same outcome, sir, or ma'am. And that's what I try to explain to these people, that's not what you're rallying against. You're upset that man corrupts things. So be upset that all man corrupts all things. We corrupt governments, we corrupt religions, we corrupt everything. We corrupt Little League Baseball. It doesn't matter what it is, we're going to corrupt it, and we're going to abuse things. That's why we got fat asses out there, because we abuse chocolate and alcohol and anything. Anything we can get our hands on, we're going to corrupt, because that's the human nature. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but it's just what it is. So if you understand that, you know how to kind of proceed. That's why I don't think communism is a good idea. It sounds good on paper, yes. If everybody would agree to this thing, it may work, but no one's ever going to agree to it and hold that line. Eventually, someone's going to break from their standpoint and go, I want more. I want more and more and more, and then that's how that goes. Every drug dealer started off selling a dime bag of weed. Or something of that nature. They started off small, got a little taste for it. Power corrupts. So, you're not upset with religion. You're upset with man. You're upset with the abuse that he or we put onto that thing. But the moral compass that it holds is greater than it itself. So no, you don't need to be religious to hold that moral compass. And I'm not trying to push religion onto anybody. But I would push people to push that moral compass, those values, the way to treat somebody, the way to understand somebody onto others. You know, raise your kids that way. Because if we just raise everybody with no religion and that there is nothing out there and that government's God, well, we're going to be even in a worse shape. Or if we raise everybody in anarchy with no moral compass, we're going to go to mob rule. And we're going to be a bunch of barbarians again. Because no matter what, people are going to sooner or later want to dictate. You know? So let's get back to the basics. Let's go to the core values, the moral compass that religion has, what people feel is naturally the law of the land. You know? And not brute strength, not force. Let's make things... Yes, one thing I love about religion is it's voluntary. You don't have to prescribe to their theories. Government, you have to abide by their laws. You know, you don't... If you go to church and you don't put nothing in the basket, guess what happens? You go home and eat Sunday dinner. You don't pay taxes? Shit. I don't think I need to explain more. So, like, just really think about that. The difference between voluntary actions and force. And what you rather have. You know? But push for a good moral compass. Let's get back to the basics. The golden rule. Let's right the ship of humanity. Alright? Like I said, it's not a conversion video. I don't really care what you do personally. Religious, not religious. I want to see people get back to that. Alright.